What's up, guys? This is your boy Kongshell Rhythms, aka Mr. Bailey. Welcome to my new series, Back to Basics. That's right, Back to Basics, a fresh start. The new practical series for drummers. Let's jump in. You should know I'm a Bahamian. From the Bahamas, it's the place you vacation. Slapped on the nose, every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is you're watching it. So happy that you're watching it. Grateful for you to be here with us again for episode 2. Wow, I'm so grateful that I can actually have an episode 2. Right. So, today's episode is going to be about rudiments. We are going to start talking about rudiments. I mean, we started last episode with the single stroke exercises, double stroke exercise, but we're going to go into that and add 2 more rudiments to our repertoire today. All right. For a recap, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and you can watch episode 1. Subscribe to my Instagram. I usually post notes the day after so you can see the notes for episode 1. All right, so rudiments. Everybody's talking about it. What are rudiments? I'll wait. Okay, so rudiments are the most fundamental element of whatever it is that you're doing. Now, of course, we're talking about drumming, but that's rudimentary vocabulary is in everything that you do, whether you're a business person or whatever. There's certain fundamentals that you need to know. And for drumming, the first fundamentals are called rudiments, right? Single strokes, double strokes, triple strokes, that kind of stuff. You know the stuff. You know the lingo. All right? So, rudiments, again, are the most fundamental and essential element of whatever it is you're doing. We're talking about the most fundamental stuff of drumming, right? So most rudiments are derived from Swiss or European origins, right? So Swiss, European origins is where rudiments come from. The flammecue is the only American rudiment, American originated rudiment, that is, right? Now, I can check my research again, but the last time I checked, it was only the flammecue, right? So rudiments are made up of strokes, right? Strokes are what makes up the rudiments, right? You have your 4 different types of strokes, right? And what it is strokes are defined by what follows them, right? So whatever comes after the stroke, it's what defines the stroke. Today, we want to deal with the rebound stroke, right? And all the rebound stroke is an accent preparing for another accent. So everything that we're going to play today is going to be sort of loud and heavy and followed by another loud and heavy stroke, right? Which is an accent, right? So just to demonstrate the rebound stroke, let's use the single stroke exercise, right? So we are at 65 beats per minute, right?
1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then
So all of those strokes were played up. They were played with accents on them, followed by another accented stroke, followed by another accented stroke. And like I said at the beginning of episode 1, we are not really focusing on highs and lows right now. Everything is going to be played up. And as we move along, we'll introduce different volume changes and dynamics, right? So let's take that. We're doing these rebound strokes, and let's create an exercise for the single stroke rudiment. Single stroke rudiment is only right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, one behind the other, right? So what we're going to do, the first 8 subdivision is going to be in the 8th notes, right? And the second set of 8 subdivision is going to be in the 16th notes. I am going to play the 16th note subdivision going through all the time underneath the counting, right? And so it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the exercise, all right? We'll do it a few times and move on, right? Count in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the exercise, all right? We'll do it a few times and move on, right? Count in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the exercise, all right? We'll do it a few times and move on, right? 1,
rudiment,
2,
rudiment,
3,
rudiment,
and
rudiment,
2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, that's the single stroke exercise, right? And again, along with the tempo and the metronome going, I'm keeping time on my left foot for us drum set players on my hi-hat. Now you can keep time on your bass drum, but because of how I'm shooting, I wanted to keep time on my hi-hat, right? So take that same exercise and let's apply it to our second rudiment, which is a double stroke rule, right? 2 on each hand. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Now again, for all these exercises, start off baby slow. For me, I think that 65 is a comfortable place for most people to start. You may want to start at 55 or 50 beats per minute, depending on what level you're at, right? But I suggest 65 is real comfortable for beginners. That's what I suggest. So we want to take the same exercise and apply it to the double stroke rule, right? Second rudiment of the day, double stroke rule. Here it is. We're going eighth note subdivision for the first 8 beats, and then 16th note subdivision for the second 8 beat, and you repeat it over and over and over again, right? I'm gonna do it like 2 sets of it.
2 and
ready and play and 2 exercises are for the single stroke exercise, double stroke exercise. Start at 65. As you start to get comfortable, remember we're keeping the strokes very, very clean, and we're playing with rebound strokes. So everything is really, really, really even, accented basically. But because everything is so even, you can't hear the difference between the accent and something else, a tap or something, because we're not playing any taps, right? So everything is very, very, for those people who like to use inches, I would say, anywhere from about 6 to 12, it doesn't matter. As long as you're playing up, everything is even. Right? And so, 8th note subdivision for the first 8, 16th note subdivision for the second 8, right? Single strokes, double strokes, right? So, the new rudiments we want to introduce, the first new rudiment we want to introduce is the single 4 rudiment. Single stroke 4 rudiment. Single stroke 4, single 4, single stroke 4, however you want to say it, right? Single stroke 4 rudiment, right? And all it is, it's an 16th note triplet tied to an 8th note. 16th note triplet tied to 8th note. I'm getting old. I had to look up at my rudiment chart. So, yeah, it's a 16th note 16th note triplet tied to an 8th note, right? Strawberry 1, strawberry 1, strawberry 1, triple 1, triple 1. Now, my thing to my students is if you can say it, you can play it. Verbalize, and then put it into action, right? So, here it is. Triplet 1, triplet 2, or strawberry 1, strawberry 2, or beautiful 1. You use the words to sound out each note. Beautiful 1, strawberry 1, triplet 1, right? So that is the single stroke 4, right? Well, the way I do it is I just keep repeating it over and over and over and over again. Try to get my hands acclimated to it and then pick up the tempo. So again, we're going to use the 65 beats per minute. My subdivision is going to be the quarter note, right? Quarter note. Because 3 16th notes and the 8th note equals to a quarter note. 3 16th notes is triplet. 16th note triplet is equal to 8th note, and it's attached to the 8th note, so it makes it one beat, right? We'll get some more into that in another episode, notes and their values and rhythms. All right, so it's a 16th note triplet tied to a eighth note, right? Beautiful one, triple lit one, triple lit two, triple lit three, triple lit four, right? Each of those groupings should be one beat. Let's play it, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Once again, we are making sure that all our strokes are even. Remember, we're working on the rebound stroke. So we coming in, and remember we said the strokes are defined by what's after them. Rebound stroke, accent followed by another accent, right? So everything is even. We're playing it straight out. Beautiful one, beautiful two, beautiful three, beautiful four, beautiful one, beautiful two. And if we wanted to, as we get comfortable, we increase it. I usually tell people either by 5 or by 10 BPMs. I will increase it by 10 BPMs and let's see what we got on the 75 BPMs.
1,
Single stroke 4, 3, 4. That's an exercise that I use for a single stroke 4. Now, for drum set people, my drum set percussionists, I usually try to tell them to move it around the drum just so we can increase the comfortable being our dexterity around the drum and being comfortable in the workplace that you have based on your setup, right? So I'll just demonstrate that on the drum set just really, really quickly to see what that looks like, and then we'll go to the next rudiment, right? So I'm still at 75 beats per minute. And what I'm gonna do is just move this rudiment around the drum. Just move it around the drum.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's what it looks like and sounds like moving it around the drum set for my drum set players, right? Those of you that are specifically just geared towards marching or battery percussion, I would say, you can put it on a 6s or just keep it to one surface. I mean, it's up to you, all right? So the next rudiment we want to introduce today, single stroke 7. Single stroke 7, right? Single stroke 7, all it is 2 sets of 16 note triplets along with 1 quarter note. Am I right? Yes. 2 sets of 16 note triplets along with 1 quarter note. 2 sets of 16 note triplets along with 1 quarter note. The 16 note triplet, of course, is right, but it's 2 sets, so you got very, very, very succinct and together. Beautiful strawberry, beautiful strawberry, beautiful strawberry 1, beautiful strawberry 2, right? And there's a space in between because the last note is a quarter note, right? So let's slow this back down to 65. Let's try to get into it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Strokes, we're keeping everything is very, very even. If it was to be a visual, it would go along a straight line, right? Keeping the tempo, metronome is counting, keeping tempo with my right foot or my kick drum foot, right? every stroke, and for right now, we're doing is a rebound stroke. So accents straight through, everything is played up, right? Let's put some speed behind it just a little bit. Increase it by 10. Let's see what it sounds like. 75 beats per minute.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so we have single stroke exercise, double stroke exercise, the single stroke 4, and single stroke 7, right? So let's go through each one of those exercises again, and then we're going to call it a day. It'll be up to you to go ahead and practice. Like I say, start on 65 beats per minute, and you sort of grow yourself. Maybe you may grow by 1 beat per minute, maybe you'll grow by 5. I suggest going 5 or 10 beats per minute to grow your speed. All right, let's recap everything that we did today. We did 4 rudiments, right? And we said that rudiments were the what? Most essential and integral part, or most fundamental element of what it is that we do in, of course, we're talking about drumming, right? We talk about strokes, right? Strokes, these are what make up the rudiments, right? And a stroke is defined by what happens, what's the next stroke that happens after it. So today we dealt with what? Rebound strokes, right? Right? So the first exercise we did was the single stroke exercise. First 8 counts is subdivided by the 8th note. Second 8 counts is subdivided by the 16th note, right? So I am going to go with 75 beats per minute, change my subdivision the whole time to the 16th note, and play through the exercise. Single stroke exercise.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So the next exercise is a double stroke exercise. Same fundamentals apply. We're going to go first 8 subdivided by the 8th note, second 8 subdivided by the 16th note.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Next exercise, single stroke 4. Subdivided by the quarter note, right? A 16th note triplet tied to an 8th note. 75 beats per minute.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Last but not least, the single stroke 7. 2 sets of 16th note triplets and a quarter note. 2 sets of 16th note triplets and a quarter note. Subdivided by a quarter note. 75 beats per minute.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's all for today. Remember, we discussed rudiment. You have 4 rudiments in your rudimentary vocabulary now. Single strokes, double strokes, single stroke 4, single stroke 7. Go ahead and practice those with those exercises. Check out episode 1 if you missed it. Glad you're here for episode 2. Episode 3 is next week. Can you believe it? We're going on episode 3. Thank you so much. Subscribe to my YouTube. Of course, all of my social media links will be posted at the end of this video. Subscribe, share. Thank you so much. Give me your feedbacks. Get in the comments. We really, really appreciate you. Have a great day.